welcome. So now I'm going to be teaching you about motion tokens. Motion tokens is one of the most flexible and most powerful tools that we have here at LottieFiles and Lottie Animations have. They only work with the .lottie file format, which is our default format. So make sure you're using .lottie and you have the right .lottie player so you can work with tokens. Tokens are basically variables, right? Or a series of values that you can save regarding any property of an element in an animation. That can be the size of the element, the color of the element, can be the text of the element, the position, the opacities. There are so many tokens. And you can use tokens then to reuse or have the same value for multiple elements. You can use the same token then. That token can have multiple values as well. So that value then you can create themes within an animation by changing the value of a particular token for a particular theme. And finally, you can use tokens to manipulate the animation with JavaScript from your app to exchange data so that the animation receives input, receives data, then can animate or show a particular bit of it, can change colors, can increase sizes, can move elements, and you can use it then to also send back data or reflect the data that is being passed from your web app. So let's get started with the basic, and then I'll show you some more complex examples. For this one, I have here a main rectangle, and I want to create like a starry sky, right? So I'm going to put a series of stars here, but what I'm going to do is, before I even do the first one, right, I'm going to put it in like a yellow color, and I'm going to make that a token. So in order, if I wanted to make this a token, I can just grow this drop arrow here and say apply token. No tokens have been applied to this, so I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call this a star color and just save it. And that's it, the token has been assigned. So if I were to create another one here, it will have that color already being applied, right? So I can make this a little bit smaller, and I can then, just grab this, make a couple of copies here and there. And the beauty or the good part of this is that all of these will then be having that token being already implemented and being applied. So I'm going to make a bigger one. I'm going to grab a couple more, right? Just to make sure that I have a few. I can also use the duplicator on this, maybe. So that might be even a better idea. So let me duplicate this and make 5 copies very quickly. And there we go. I have a bunch of copies here, so I can just browse them across and move them around, kind of like put them wherever I want. So lovely. Now I have my kind of like my star field here, right? And the other thing that I want to do is I want to make the background as well a token. So I can go here, create a token, and call it sky color. Right? So now if I go and check the tokens for this one, I can check the tokens here on this little action here, the motion tokens, and you can see there's a star color and sky's color. So if I change star color to something whiter, right, you can see that all stars are now white. That is really powerful because then I can just make one change and applies everywhere. Let me go and do a couple of things as well. Maybe I can grab these 3 stars and say, hey, I want to make a token for the rotation of the star. Create a token and call it star rotation, right? And I'm going to save it, right? And then I can go here to the tokens and say, hey, a star rotation instead of 0 degrees is going to be like 50 degrees. And only the stars that have that then get that rotation. I can do it again for a second star rotation. Maybe I want to do it with this 3 instead. So I can apply a token, I can apply star rotation, I can create a new one and say star rotation 2, right? And then I can save it and do the same thing. Come here with a token and say, hey, this is 50 and this is going to be 145. And then they will rotate and they will be slightly rotated. So now my stars are a little bit all over the place. And if I rotate them, right, and if I change that angle, you will see that all the right stars are rotating depending on which ones I'm working with, right? So there you go. So can change the color. I can change the color as well of the background. So if this is kind of like a lighter blue now, right, then it just changed and being applied. Really powerful because you change once and applies everywhere. Not only that, then I can create themes for this. So I can make it more like, like more of the daylight, right? For this one, but then I'm going to create the default, this theme that I'm going to call night. So let me call it night. And for night, I want the stars to be a little bit yellower, right? And I want the colors to be, this one to be really dark, right? And then I can do another one that's going to be, I don't know, let's say Christmas for some reason. I can rename this. I can say this is Christmas, right? And I can make, maybe the background will be green instead, kind of like a dark green there. And the stars can be kind of like a reddish tone, right? Maybe a lighter red, and that's kind of like a little bit more Christmassy, maybe. So now, as I have this animation, I have all the themes here, so I can switch to the default, night, and Christmas. And in one animation, I can have multiple themes and therefore animate and show things. With opacity tokens, you can show, let's say, hey, in the Christmas token, in the Christmas, I just want there to be, I don't want any stars on this side. So for this one, I'm going to go and create an opacity layer and say, right, show star, let's say, and I will create a new token. And in the case of these 3 stars that I got here, I can say, hey, for this particular theme, you're 100%, but in Christmas, I don't want you to be there, right? So now you're going to just make them transparent, and now they're gone. So if I'm in the night theme, they're there. If I'm in the default theme, they're there. But if I'm in the Christmas one, they're gone. So really powerful way to animate and make, different animations inside of the same animation. This can turn into something really powerful. Let me show you one example here. For this one, we have this little animation of a toffee ice cream, right? That has the text, all the colors that are here are tokens. So if I were to show you the tokens of this, you will see here, let me maximize it because there are so many, the dark color, the light color, medium color, the name, the description, the price, even gradients that support this. And you can see there are several themes here. Strawberry theme, matcha theme, toffee theme. So as I'm playing this animation, I can say, hey, you should be the default, and it's a banana ice cream, right? If it's a strawberry, then it's a strawberry ice cream. If it's the matcha theme, it's the matcha ice cream. And the price has changed, the description changed, the title changed, all of it based on the theme, because text can also be a token. That is extremely powerful. One change, multiple themes, and really, really make dynamic animations. Not only that, those tokens can then be accessible from JavaScript, from your web app or mobile app. So for this example that we got here, in CodePen, we have built basically this, what you see on the left side is the animation itself. And on the right is a series of HTML controls that are connected through JavaScript with the animation. So we can trigger certain actions with state machines and change the contents of the token. So there's a text token here. It's called package loading. We have themes applied as well, so you can preview it. We can make it, this is the normal one. We can make Chinese New Year or Christmas here, right? And you can see the text also changed. Happy Spirits loading, and the Chinese New Year says blessings loaded, right? And here I can change the opacity of the different elements as well. So I can show either oranges or GIFs or bubbles. So I want to change that. So say, I don't know, new GIFs coming. And if I change the text, the animation text is changing as well. That's particularly incredible, right? So I can change in the HTML, say, hey, use this theme. There you go. The text is being changed. And let's say, hey, I want to show not bubbles, I want to show GIFs in this case. So if I trigger, and I will trigger a state machine, I will trigger the animation now, and boom, it's now showing GIFs. But if I want to change that, I can say, hey, show oranges now for some reason. Trigger open, and now oranges are falling down. It's really, really powerful. And this animation is also interactive, so I can click on it directly, and it will apply, right? The same animation that I have decided, but I'm changing the animation dynamically on HTML. Another good example that I got is this animated bar chart here, which is a really good idea. Again, controls are made in HTML, in JavaScript on the right, and this is the animation. So from here, I can change the point of any values here, right? So I can make this, I don't know, 200, and you can see there once they kind of become way smaller, right? If I make it 2000, kind of it goes higher up. I can randomize these numbers, and you can see that it animates, right? And it shows the total, it adds it up, right? And the total, I can change it as well, and I can make it, I don't know, 5,000. I can change the date for this, right? To make it something else. I can make it light theme or dark theme, right? Because we have the different themes here, and in the light theme, I can say, hey, go for color mint or the color of the sky or violet for the text, right? So all the text here is being updated with those colors, right? So you can say, hey, amber or violet in the dark mode, right? Go for the sky, go for the violet. So I can change data inside the animation. I can dynamically animate the elements that I want inside an animation just by using JavaScript. These are public links that you can find on the page right next where you're looking at this video. And hopefully with that, they give you a good taste of what tokens can do and how powerful they are. Finally, one bit, this ask any animation that has tokens, you can check the tokens that are being applied here, and you can modify them without even having to jump into Creator and take a look and make any changes that you want. So if you wanted to change this color for something, I don't know, something darker, right? You can do it and you can see it there, right? So, well, I hope this was really useful and you get started with tokens because it's such a powerful feature. It's dynamic animations for everyone. Thank you.